What's going on, everyone? So I made a video diving into Gale Weathers and how I really want her to have purpose in this upcoming Scream 7, that I really hope that they don't treat her like they did in Scream 6, where she didn't need to be in the movie. Like, there was nothing that happened in that movie that required Gale. She didn't further the plot in any way. Even her big reveal of, the shrine room, right? Like, it didn't lead to anything. Even the killer, Dermot Mulroney's character, Detective Bailey, revealed that, like, oh, I was just going to show it anyway. She just basically beat me to it. But again, it didn't, like, foil any Ghostface plans. It wasn't like when they showed up, Ghostface was there. It had to, like, scurry away or something, and maybe somebody got attacked, or, like, that would have been a great moment to, like, have somebody get killed, right? Like, Gale finds this. They all go together, right? Ghostface is there. Kirby's trying to, like, save the day or whatever. And then, Danny ends up dying or something like that. Like, cool. That would have been a great, like, scene. It would have been purposeful. Gave Gale some purpose to kind of further. But no, you didn't get it. They didn't lead anywhere. And then in the end, you ended up having this scene that I believe should have ended in her death. You had all this buildup that basically we watched her die on screen. And we got a reveal off camera. It wasn't like they didn't even give us the courtesy to actually see her in the hospital, where maybe Sam and Tara go and show up and say their thank yous or whatever, because they had a little beef earlier and it would have been like a nice moment. No, it was just like, oh, by the way, Gale's alive. Like, okay, like I just thought that they should have went through with it and just did what they did. You already set it up. We already watched it. We saw that sequence. Let that be the end of it. Like, why does everyone have to, not everyone is, it's a horror franchise, a slasher film. Not everyone's going to get a happy ending. Right? I'm not saying you have to kill Gale. I'm just saying, like, we went through that entire scene for it to, again, kind of go nowhere. So my big question is in regards to that scene, just in general for, the future. Because like I said, I did a whole video on kind of the purpose of Gale and what I want to see for this film. So go check out that video after this one, of course. But another big thing is just, should they just kill her, right? I don't want her to die just for the sake of dying, right? Like, I want it to have meaning, right? Like, if it's something to where she puts away her selfish, like, I would love something where, Sydney, maybe Sydney's daughter, maybe that would be better, right? Tatum, Sydney's daughter, is in this compromised position to where it looks like she's about to meet her end. She's about to die. And Gale kind of does the what would Dewey do in this situation. And she knows if she goes in there and tries to help, she's going to die. Maybe both of them even die. But Dewey wouldn't care. Dewey would have done that regardless. And for a moment, Gale Weathers kind of puts her, her ego and just, persona aside, her selfishness, puts that aside to go in there and save Sydney's daughter. And maybe she dies and meets her end and, but Tatum is able to escape, or it could be Sydney or whatever, right? Like, and you just have this moment where, like, that's what Dewey would do. And that's how, like, something like that, I think you could do and kind of get away with. And people would kind of go like, oh man, like, you kind of have this like conclusion arc to Gale. Right. And it's like, it was always going to be at the end of a blade, right? She's always getting her nose into things that she shouldn't be getting into and, digging up stuff. And how many times have we seen her attacked and nearly brought to death? And, same thing with Dewey. And it's just, you have this moment that leads to her end. I'm okay with that. As long as, again, it's purposeful, right? If she just dies because, she's, looking into something and turns a corner and boom, it's like, and that's it. It's like, yeah, okay, but I want it to serve a purpose. Again, I'm not saying that they have to kill Gale, right? Like, Gale's the easiest character out of all of them, right? Because you don't need explanation for her, right? Like, Sydney, you needed explanation for in Scream 5. It's why, like, Dewey died. Okay, she comes to kind of avenge Dewey. That made sense. But you don't need anything for Gale, right? Like, Ghostface is there, she's showing up, right? Ghostface is going after Sydney. And on a minute, I'll be on the first flight, right? Why? Because she wants to write a book. She wants to get the scoop. She wants to solve the Ghostface, killer and do all that stuff and, be able to continue to make millions off of it and all that stuff and make movies and shows and true crime docs and, her book sales and all that stuff, right? Like, that's what Gale does. It's easy to integrate her. It's easy to incorporate her. But I want her to have purpose, but I'm fine with that purpose leading to her end. Right? I'm fine with that purpose seeing her dying. If you can keep her in these films, keep her in these films. I'm not against it. But after what we saw in Scream 6, I don't necessarily trust the writing to be able to properly relay what is needed for her character. Right? They kind of did the same thing with Sydney in Scream 5. Again, she didn't serve really any purpose other than Sidney Prescott's in it. Right? And again, I'm never going to complain about Sidney Prescott being in the film, but it's like, if you didn't have a real kind of driving force for her character, then you were better off just kind of not doing it. Right? I thought they did a good, like, Dewey is the best example of, like, how to properly, he was the heart of that film. He served purpose. He had point. He died in the way that Dewey would die, right? Saving someone else. Right? And yes, it hurt and it sucked, but, like, that's what Dewey's the guy that's running into the fire to save the person, right? Because he's always had that good heart. He's always wanted to, Deputy Dewey saves the day type thing, right? Like, so again, it was purposeful. It was great. Like, even Gale in Scream 5, I thought they did a much better job than Scream 6, but I thought they did a good job of having her kind of be involved and be kind of interweaved in. But if you can't, or it's hard for you to kind of properly write the story, and I know Kevin Williamson is at the helm now, which I do hope that will kind of be better for the legacy character, especially because this is kind of more of a legacy film centered and focused around Sydney more. So I'm hopeful that they're able to kind of, do Gale better justice. But in the same breath, how much is Kevin Williamson going to be able to change and influence? Right? Like, I'm sure he's allowed to have some input. I'm sure he's allowed and has made some changes, but if Gale's story arc is not great and she doesn't serve no purpose or anything, is Kevin Williamson going to be able to go in there and be like, yeah, like, got to change the entire Gale story? I don't know. Maybe. Right? Like, but regardless, I think either you got to give her the purpose, like I've talked about, or I think you got to kill her off. And again, I'm okay with you killing her off. I mean, again, it's a horror franchise. Right? Like, how many other horror franchises have had 7 installments where all the characters survive, right? Like, at some point, people die. I mean, even the main characters have survived, right? But I don't see them killing Sydney ever, right? But, you look at, even historically, like, every final girl has died at some point, right? Those that have actually had, more than, like, a couple films, right? So, again, if you're going to kill Gale, fine, but make sure it's purposeful. Anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree with me? Disagree with me? Kind of mixed in the middle? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are. Either way, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel. What are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.